Good evening, guys. Good evening. Good evening. It is AV Boxing News Podcast with
Southpaw Mellow
and myself, the nose hunter, the urban legend, Mr. Two Piece himself. So what's going on, Mellow? How you feel, man?
I'm good, man. A little under the weather, but I'm good now. We got some good fights coming up too.
Okay. Let's get started. Let's see what
All right, so it's fight week, right? We got Benavides versus Ellis coming in. Then you got Estrada versus Gonzalez too. The Chocolatitos back. That's for the WBC title, Estrada's WBC title. Then we have the co-main event. We have Hirota Kayaguchi versus Axel Aragon Vega, which is for the WBA junior flyweight title.
Okay, so I mean, like I said, we got a big lineup coming up. But let's talk about this past week, man. Man. Let's talk. We have to say the first pay-per-view by Claressa Shields, right? I didn't get to see the whole fight, but I saw a lot of it, and pretty much round after round seemed like it was pretty much the same. I just feel like she just outclassed her opponent once again. Casual fans, I feel, will say like, okay, she's boring. She didn't try to go for the knockout, but I didn't see there was a reason for that. I think she was composed. She boxed very scientific. She do a great jab, a lot of great combinations, and I felt like why go for the knockout every fight, right? Let's preserve yourself and make it a chess match. And I think she wanted to show the world what a technician she is from Michigan.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in boxing, you can't please everybody. If you're knocking everybody out, like Edgar Berlanga, then they're going to have that doubt. Oh, well, what if he goes to 10 rounds? What if he goes to 12 rounds, right? Oh, he's just a one-trick pony. Then you got the guys that are technicians, like, let's say, Caleb Plant. Yeah. He'll pick you apart for 12 rounds. Oh, but he has no power. So somebody's always going to be a critic and complain. But Claressa Shields, I feel like, she might lack some power or, that knockout ratio, but she puts combinations together well. She's a good technician. She really knows how to box. 2-time gold Olympian, right?
You know what? They don't give Claressa Shields as much credit as she deserves.
It's true.
She's a technician. When they see women's boxing, they want everyone to be Ann Wolfe. Ann Wolfe is an athlete that has exceptional punching power for her weight class. Was she light heavyweight?
I think so.
Ann Wolfe was light heavyweight.
Yeah.
She hit like a cruiserweight man. So, you can't have the same expectations for even some women in heavyweight that don't get on. You got to give her credit. The women are really working that hard. And, since we're talking about Claressa Shields, I've always been a opponent of how these female fighters are getting paid. Now, what did Claressa Shields just turn down?
Oh, she just turned down an offer from Eddie Hearns for $300K per fight for a 2-fight deal.
Now, do you feel like she was lowballed, or do you feel that's fair for women's boxing? In your opinion, though.
I mean, you know what? Women's boxing has, there was a real big stigma behind it for a while. Women shouldn't be in there and this and that. And you know what? I think women's boxing is getting very exciting. You got the Katie Taylors out there. You got the Amanda Serranos. You got the Claressa Shields that they really go in there and they're technicians and they're really students of the game. And I feel like that they should be treated more fairly. Claressa Shields got that pay-per-view thing. Hey, I think that's great for women's boxing. It should get that more exposure.
At least give her $1 million.
Yeah.
I feel like they shouldn't be, come on, pay-per-view, 2-time gold medalist. She was she unified?
Yeah.
She won a 4-weight division, the fastest ever. She did it twice.
She was the only U.S. fighter, male or female, right, to get back-to-back gold medals.
Yeah, she was.
Male or female.
And when you put it, you see, and I don't like, when we have, dudes that'll say, oh, you can't compare men's, women's, or boxing women, or you can't say Amanda Serrano's right there with Pacquiao with record-wise. I said, they can't help that they're born women.
Exactly.
If you're the best at what you do, you're the best at what you do. You're taking away their talent. And I'm not knocking Pacquiao or anything like that, but I don't see anything Pacquiao does skill wise that's that much more advanced than what Amanda Serrano does in the ring and puts on a masterful thing. Skills are skills. Skills pay the bills. We don't have that same attitude in MMA. Nobody would dare go say Amanda Nunes does not fight as good as some male fighters. She probably fights better than some male fighters.
I think they said in the gym that she was training at, she was the only female fighter there. So all she does is spar with guys.
Yeah.
And she keeps up with them.
And that's why she's so strong. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that she get paid a lot more. And give them one more minute on those rounds, man. It cannot be 2-minute rounds. It's disrespectful to women's boxing.
They had a women's fight that was 3-minute rounds, right? They had one a few months ago, I think I saw. Yeah. They were testing and they were saying that they might pilot it, but they were saying that they did studies and 2-minute rounds cause less brain damage than 3-minute rounds. I mean,
but you're in the ring.
Exactly.
The thing about that is that if that's the case, then do it for men's boxing. Okay, just have amateur count.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is like it should be fair across the board, man. It'll make her fights more exciting. If you got to go punch the clock for 2 minutes and be as fast as you can to try to score and rally points in professional boxing, how can you expect Clarissa Shields to get so many devastating knockouts?
Exactly.
Which you can wear a opponent down.
Exactly. You know how it is when you spar.
Yeah.
I went to a gym, they had 2-minute rounds. And right when I was already started opening up, the bell rang. I'm like, yo, 2 minutes is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped doing 2-minute rounds.
We do 3-minute rounds, 30-second rest. 3-minute rounds is where it's at, man. And that's a whole extra minute that you could get a lot done in that round.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can work your generalship, your defense, everything. So, going along, man. What do we have?
So let's see. We also have in boxing news, Bob Arum wants Felix Verdejo back in the ring in the coming months, and Richard Comey might be a possible foe.
It's gonna be a good fight. We can't count Richard Comey. Richard Comey is still pound top 10. At 135. I mean, he's a dangerous opponent, but I just feel that maybe Bob Arum, he's putting pressure on fighters though. But like, is he guiding to make these guys bigger stars, or is he just like, okay, well, prove yourself, I'm gonna throw you the wayside? Yeah, true. Like sink or swim kind of status. Yeah.
I met Felix Verdejo a few years back at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. He was a very promising prospect. He had, that car accident. He had a loss. Then he had that car accident. Then he came back. His last performance, he was doing so good, and then the glass jaw came in and looked like he had a little glass jawitis. So yeah. I don't know how well he would go against Richard Comey, especially.
You know what? I would say maybe he's just.
It was a jab.
I mean, yo, man, you can get hurt. I didn't see, yo.
It was a jab.
Charlo stopped the dude with a
body jab, yeah.
That jab, I'm telling you, that jab.
It looked like he was possessed.
Like some guys hit you with a jab, man, and like a right hand.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I mean, doing that well, you dominating that well, you got that careless. They got knocked up by a jab, though.
Happens, man. We've seen a few fighters knock out a jab. For me, I call myself the nose hunter because I've been punching the nose guards with a jab. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, I think that it will be a good fight. Richard Comey's still up there. Lopez is probably going to go up to like 140. Who knows? You was talking about Tank and Lopez going back and forth. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were going back and forth, and they basically was Tank talking about Tank going up to 140, from 130 to 140, and maybe possibly having something in the future. I think that'll be good. So Comey right now can dominate 135. I don't take the knockout away from because he got knocked out. I mean, it happens. He got caught with a good shot, right?
And he threw the same exact shot. It could a second more over to the right or this that. And it could have went either way.
And that's what's so great about the sport of boxing. One punch man. But what else do we have? Also,
well, I just wanted to say about the Verdejo thing. I think it might be a little too soon because he suffered the knockout loss, right?
Yeah.
And then he had an accident, a motorcycle accident before that. We don't know how much the motorcycle accident affected him for that fight. Now he suffered a knockout. Now you want to put him back in the ring in a few months?
That's tough for the accident.
I'm not sure. With Richard Comey got power. This guy's explosive. You wouldn't want to go back in there.
He got decent defense.
Yeah.
I think we don't know, man. We like when Errol Spence got on the car, we don't know if he got any joint injuries or anything like that.
Yeah, but it was a while before he came back.
It was a while, but
and then he didn't suffer a knockout loss afterwards.
I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how that would catch up with him. You know, I don't know how hurt he was. You know, was he just banged up and bruised up a little bit, or was he like, you know, suffered some serious joint issues? Like we see fighters with injuries. I remember the fighter that Crawford fought, that got shot in the leg from Chicago.
Who was it?
I forgot his name, but Crawford knocked him out. He was giving Crawford a good fight. Chicago. I'm sorry. Sorry, it slipped my mind.
It eludes you.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Crawford got shot. Didn't he get shot in the head?
No, Crawford never got shot.
Somebody got shot in the head.
Emmanuel Augustus did.
Emmanuel Augustus too.
But he didn't. You know, he's not fighting. So.
No, see, Terrence Crawford recalls being shot in the head back in 2008. He did.
Okay, well.
Yeah, and look at him though. He's a beast though.
Yeah. So, like I said, so what else is now moving on?
Let's see.
What's the next thing we're gonna see that's coming up right now? I know there's a lot of the whole deck is being stacked for the summertime, man. 2021 is really, really, really upon us right now in boxing. Boxing's coming back with a vengeance.
Well, Benavidez too has been talking a lot about he wants that Canelo fight, and he doesn't see. Benavidez said he doesn't see anybody beating him. The only person that could beat him is himself.
That's good talk. I'm gonna say it like this: Benavidez doesn't have enough layers for Canelo. Benavidez is a tall, upright fighter, good hand speed, good punching power. Not that great on his feet. And to try to go blow for blow with Canelo, who's a elite counterpuncher, I think that fight will look more easier than what people might think.
Okay.
It could be a Rocky Fielding type fight. We don't know how Benavidez takes body shots. We've never seen him hurt to the body. We've never seen anybody go to the body on Benavidez. He's always been a tall, hulking guy that always comes over you and hits you with volume and keeps you in the middle of the ring.
He doesn't fight like the tall guy.
Yeah,
he fights like the little Mexican guy.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but mid-range, he's still throwing him 1-2. Yeah. He's throwing him hand speed. Yeah. So you can't get on the inside of him. And then when you're on the inside, he's leaning on him. So who's going to be a fighter? You think you're going to really lean on Canelo? No.
He puts nice combinations together. His hands are pretty fast.
Well, Canelo's hands are fast.
That's true. So and his head movement's better.
Head movement's better. Footwork's better.
He needs Benavidez would need a normal Mexican style fighter that would go head to head and lean in and pick shots on the inside from the pocket whip.
I don't see anybody at 168.
Yeah, nobody's going to do that.
But I do feel like you can beat Benavidez two ways: smother him and go to the body and catch it with slick combinations like a Canelo could, or outbox him on the feet and go in and out like a Caleb Plant and have a good jab. He doesn't have enough defense. He has a lot of attributes, but when you get past that hand speed, that power, and that size, what's left? That has to be questioned with Benavidez. Benavidez is still talking about Plant. Mm-hmm. I don't see Plant really going towards him. Now we're talking about Billy Joe and Canelo going towards, fighting. And I feel like they're looking past Billy Joe right now, going towards, they already have. You see the flyers that are going around, Billy Joe, Canelo.
Yeah.
And Plant and Canelo. It's like they're looking right past Billy Joe. So Benavidez has a lot. He has a lot to prove, man. He's got to start making weight. He's got to be more disciplined. He's got to prove himself a lot more to the boxing world. Not just showing up and, having good performances, but take it to the next level. Let's see what Benavidez really can do against elite competition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's my point.
Also, we have on that fight card on the zone, we have Jessica McCaskill versus Cecilia Brækhus, the rematch. The rematch. So that's undisputed. You're gonna have the WBC, WBO, WBA, and IBF belt on the line.
So that's 147. That's a welterweight belt.
Yeah.
At 147. Cecilia Brækhus,
she was the queen for a while.
But like I said, she's faced a lot of elite competition.
Mm-hmm.
So when you keep fighting elite competition, you're going to take a loss.
Exactly.
And I do feel, they were talking about her and Clarissa at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're two different weight classes, Clarissa's a middleweight, she's a welterweight. So, but hey, look, man, 147 is definitely kind of a very shadow division in women's boxing that needs to have a little bit more attention. They do have They do have some great fighters there. Like Melissa Seyfield, 147. We have some great female fighters there that are fast. They're explosive. They got good mobility. They have the best of both worlds.
Definitely, yeah, that's true. I know Cecilia Brækhus is definitely going to be coming to get her belt back ASAP. She said she felt like she won that last fight. So she's definitely got a chip on her shoulder, and there's bad blood already. They said that there was bad blood pouring over in the press conferences.
Well, you got to understand too, like two competitive women, she's never really been dominated. I've never seen Celia Brækhus be dominated.
Yeah, she's not a knockout puncher, but she's a technician in there. She breaks you down, piece by piece.
And I feel with her, she has like a lot of she has so many layers that are not appreciated, man. And that's what I said earlier. Women's boxing definitely needs a facelift, man. We don't want the WNBA type treatment in boxing. We don't need that. We don't need that in women's boxing. It has to be one united front where we get the fight you want to see, the super fights. Who knows? I would love to see her and Amanda Serrano fight at a catchweight. Maybe 140. Maybe that can happen in the future.
That'd be good.
Two fast technicians. It'll be a boxing masterpiece for those who are boxing purists.
Definitely. So, I mean, I wasn't here last week. I didn't get to speak on that Canelo fight, but that Canelo fight the walkout was longer than the freaking fight. J Balvin coming out, everything.
Well, Canelo, I mean, you have to understand about Canelo. Canelo, you can't knock him. He's almost 60 professional fights in. Everyone's saying he's a cherry picker, he's this and this. Last time I checked, he fought the best at 154. He fought the best at 160. The boogeyman, in my opinion, twice. He went to 168. He went to 175. Took a belt. Whatever people might say about that, it's whatever. Maybe he did just collect the belt up there. And he came back down to 68. He's not going to go back to 160.
So he said he's going to stay at 168.
He's literally walking through everybody that's put in front of him. We don't see other fighters going to 160 that have many opportunities who are a lot taller, a lot bigger, going down to 160. Going up to 168. Even Charles going to 168. So I think he wants to stamp his name even more in the concrete. And he is the Mayweather of today. He is the Mayweather of this era. You have to get the peso sweepstakes. You have to get those pesos from Canelo because Canelo's got the payday. And his opponent got $2.5 million to go 3 rounds and see a concert.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So let's say, all right, fine. So now we got Charlo fighting. I mean, not Charlo. We got Benavidez fighting Ronald Ellis, right? He's saying he's going to get a quick knockout. What's next? You think Charlo's going to move up and fight Benavidez? You think Benavidez is going to really push for the Alvarez fight, or you think he's going to go for the Plant fight?
He's going to play chess and he's going to either get Plant or Alvarez because it pays more. Charlo's too high risk, low reward.
All right. They've been going back and forth.
They can go back and forth all they want, but who's a bigger draw?
True.
Which would you rather take? Take $40 million paycheck? I mean, I'm not saying to get that. What would you take? A winning lottery ticket or a slow, steady paycheck? I would take a lottery ticket. That's a winning lottery ticket. And I was winning a lottery ticket. It'll be between a toss-up between Charlo and Plant. Charlo can go fight a Plant. PBC at the end of the day. They're both on the same stable. Those are big fights we see. Those are going to be classic fights. I think that the way PBC is going right now, we're going to get those fights. Benavidez is still young. Benavidez is not even 28 years old. So he has some time to still be growing. He still has to get disciplined and work on good habits.
Yeah.
But like I said,
what is he? I think he's the youngest super middleweight champion in history.
Yes, at 22 years old.
Yeah, and then his choices got him the belt taken away, but nobody took it from him yet.
Now, let's talk about this fight coming up. Estrada versus
Chocolatito.
Chocolatito.
This is gonna be a war. This is gonna be a war.
I think Chocolatito is coming with vengeance. I think those losses really got to him. I think he has a lot more to prove. Despite even being, he's only 33 years old. He's had a great career before. At one time, it was with him next to Mayweather as well because his record was 46-0.
Yeah.
At one time. And I think this is part 2 of his career, and I think it's going to be an explosive fight at that weight class. I do feel that Chocolatito will pull the UD. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. What's your opinion?
I agree with you. I think Chocolatito is going to get the UD. He has a high work rate. This guy can stay in the pocket and bang and place his shots well. And he had masked that 46-0 before he got that loss. For a reason. So he's still a great fighter. He might have been overtraining a little too much or whatever the situation might be, but he's definitely coming back with a vengeance, and he's going to make a name for himself.
Like I said, let's talk about we talked about a little bit earlier. Mama's boy.
Mama's boy, yeah. Dennis Duglin. He's filling in to fight Austin Williams. Yeah. So he's fighting on that undercard too. He fought Benavides. He got a loss by Benavides. He's the only ranked fighter right now that is exclusively trained by his mom.
Which is a very unique story.
Yeah.
We see a lot of fighters, trained fighters. I mean, trained fighters like fathers like Zab Judah. Floyd Mayweather. Zab Judah's father, Floyd Mayweather, Danny Garcia. We've seen many Tim Bradley, Sean Porter. Trained by their dads, but very few trained by their mother. Usually, if you see about a mother, usually it's a female.
You rarely hear female fighter trainers. You got what? The only one I know like is Ann Wolf and James Kirkland.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any other ones. But then now it's like his mom is his trainer, so
like I said, I believe it's going to be a good fight. I see that fight is going to go. It's going to go. I say it's going to go all the way.
He's a tough fighter, man. He's stocky. He's a southpaw. Dennis Duglin, he knows how to fight, but then again, he's a fill-in. So we don't know if it looks like he's always training. If you follow him on Instagram, he's always training. He got a gym and everything. So, he's in shape, but it's hard to jump in on a fighter that you're not studying for. But then again, it goes the other way. The guy had somebody else. He's a fill-in. He doesn't know what Dennis Duglin's bringing either.
Yeah, and that's what makes it tricky though. But I do feel like two guys not being ready. It will just be a slow chess match. I think that's just going to go to a close split decision or tight UD. I don't think I don't think anyone's gonna get knocked out. So we have going forward, we have Randy Ford versus Aaron Perez, 8-round featherweight showdown. I believe that is for the WBC, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Like I said, that's another division that's very on the break. Let me ask you a question: is Reagan Gall still like featherweight?
Ooh, I haven't heard from him in a while. He had that
still there.
He had that weird decision where he had the knockout at the end, then they took it away. Yeah. I remember that. That was like the last fight I saw from him. But I don't even know.
I believe, who else is at featherweight? Frampton?
I like Carl Frampton.
Carl Frampton's at what, featherweight, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, man, it's like even the lower weight divisions are turned up, Like I said, man, it's definitely an exciting year in boxing. And, I feel 2021 is coming with a super vengeance. And, we're not playing, man. We're definitely not playing. And we have so right now, coming up in a few weeks, let's not talk about the little guys. Let's talk about the big guys.
All right.
We got Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora in the works.
Ooh.
On a pay-per-view with Usyk is Usyk versus Joyce. So they're trying to set that up. So
that's definitely going to be electrifying.
So what do you think about that? Derek Chisora versus Joseph Parker.
Chisora, he fought Usyk last, right?
Yeah.
And he was trying to maul him and smother him and try to overpower him.
It was working a little bit though.
It was because he's bigger. He's a natural heavyweight. So you know how it is when I spar with my boy that has like maybe 20 pounds on me.
Yeah.
I could lace him up, throw a whole bunch of shots fast, everything. But my one shot is like equal, like my 5 shots is equal to like his one shot. This level. So Usyk's moving up. He's not used to throwing that weight around like that.
Also, too, like how is Usyk's defense up there too? I mean, a guy like Joseph Parker will be a great fight for him. I think Joseph Parker outboxes him. Mm-hmm. I think Joseph Parker is too intelligent for Derek Chisora, who to me is just a puncher. No disrespect to him. I just feel that I think it's Joseph Parker's time still.
Yeah.
And I think Usyk versus Parker will be a great fight.
I agree with that one. Yeah.
Joseph Parker, Now we have speaking about that, well,
Chisora definitely gassed when he was trying to manhandle Usyk. So
you gotta understand that Usyk moves a little bit,
yep.
so he's making him use his gas tank,
Mm-hmm.
and Usyk versus Joyce, Joe Joyce, that's a good fight. That's a great test. You know, I think it's good. I think that will be a great fight. It's going to be very technical, a lot of jabs. This will be the first time you see probably Usyk getting touched up a lot more than you used to seeing him get touched. He does get touched.
He does get touched.
I don't think
He does. He did show some signs of fatigue running away from Chisora. So he does.
That's a lot more weight. Chisora's a big guy. Man.
Yeah, it's hard to get away.
Now Joe Joyce too. Like I said, very underrated heavyweight.
We got Instagram saying Parker straight up and down. Usyk's feet and angles might win him that fight.
Yeah, but Parker has timing.
True.
And Usyk can't get hit. Usyk is not going to be as defensive as he was at cruiserweight. There's a lot more weight to move around. He's going to conserve more energy. Joseph Parker can, I think Joseph Parker can weather the storm. I would not be surprised if Usyk gets a close UD. Okay. Nobody gets knocked out. I don't think Usyk doesn't have to. I mean, he has power, but it's not enough. He really hasn't put a heavyweight down.
Yeah, he got cruiserweight power. But
yeah, I mean, you want to say he's a heavyweight before he was cruiserweight. It was just heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
He's just a small heavyweight. I don't see him fighting the elites. Maybe the only guy I'll see that's up kind of top is maybe Al-Awalin and Usyk. I think that can be made. I think that will be a good test and a good show of skill. Both two southpaws going at it. We haven't seen a fight like that at heavyweight in a long time. Maybe Luis Ortiz and Usyk. That'd be good. That would be a good.
Two good technicians, boxers.
I think it will be a very close decision, or that fight might be in a draw.
I could definitely see it go either way or draw.
Yeah,
they're gonna play chess the whole night.
I do feel Luis Ortiz can knock him out. I think Luis Ortiz can put him down. Not too much difference in height. Luis Ortiz 6'4". Usyk is 6'2". So the heavyweight division is really climbing, man. We have a lot of young prospects coming up in heavyweight, guys coming out of amateurs coming into heavyweight. Hopefully, I'm not saying we're gonna have a resurgence of the heavyweight division like we had in the '90s, but we have a lot of skilled guys now out there. Wilder's getting older. Tyson Fury, I don't see him staying too long. If he beats Anthony Joshua in a rematch in the current fight, then he'll just walk out and say, I have nothing else to prove. So I think all these guys in their 20s, are really coming in and making a name for himself. Usyk has more than Tank. He hasn't taken a lot of punishment in his career. So I can see Usyk being the older heavyweight and almost fighting as old as Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
Maybe not going back down to cruiserweight because the GOAT division. I think he probably only took that fight at heavyweight, went to heavyweight because there's no money at cruiserweight. There's no name.
Sure.
You got Andrew Tabiti.
Yeah.
I mean, you got different, you got the Cuban cruiserweight that he fought. Nobody at cruiserweight.
Yeah, and then Holyfield said it best. Nobody remembers the cruiserweight champion of the world. This is a heavyweight champion of the world. That's what they care about. That's why Holyfield was a natural cruiserweight. He pushed himself up to heavyweight.
Well, because you're talking about a weight division that was founded in the early 1980s. Yeah. It's light heavyweight. Honestly, light heavyweight kind of outshines cruiserweight. I mean, we got light heavyweight, Benavides, Bivol, even Yard. We have Pascal, Marcus Brown. Those two divisions, if they don't got a heavyweight attached to it, it's not going to get a lot of attention.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah. Okay, so going forward, we have. So we just talked about Joseph Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. Javier Flores is having a 10-round welterweight showdown with Pedro Tilio Akadahoro.
Javier Flores.
Fight. So basically, that's going to put him up in the front runner with guys like in the 147-pound division. It's funny. Until 147, Pacquiao's still there.
Pacquiao's still there.
Crawford's still there. Spencer's still there.
We got a lot of good fights that could get set up in 147, man.
Jaron Ennis. Jared Ennis is still there. You know, Danny Garcia is still there. Keith Thurman is still there. Sean Porter is still there. Even with his last performance, maybe even Adrian Broner. If Adrian Broner can't make 140 anymore, he has no choice.
He got gifted. He got gifted.
I wouldn't say he got gifted. I'd say it was close. I think the score was very close. It was around. If the point wasn't taken away, it would have been a draw. Accuracy, because
he picks up late, and then he kind of started stealing the show at the end. But the other guy was the busier fighter, way busier, and just on like ring generalship like that, just on that score.
No, I do agree with you. I just thought the other guy, could have had it close. But like I said, it's like a cold war right now in boxing, man. We got the Zone, we got PBC now, and we got Matchroom Boxing now.
Matchroom is really trying to step their game up.
Yeah, B2 Sports. We can't forget about the UK. We're starting to have a lot of cross fights, man. We're talking about Lopez. Seems like Teofimo Lopez is basically it's like almost making these networks cross promote.
Yep.
Because he's intelligent enough to make them have a bidding war. It's like, okay, well, my promotion company is not offering a big bag. So I'm gonna go over to the Zone. Okay, they're not here. Then Matchroom's gonna do.
Closed mouths don't get fed, and a lot of these fighters are getting tired of putting their life on the line for scraps.
Yeah, and I do totally agree. Did you see recent news? You see Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis going back and like just complimenting each other.
Oh, that's good.
Shakur Stevenson basically just said Gervonta Davis is the truth, and Gervonta said likewise. Can we see a fight like that in the future? Can we see a fight like that in the catchweight with Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson? Maybe in the long term.
That would be a good fight.
I think it will be a great fight.
They got a lot of respect for each other. They're cool. That'd be a good fight though. Very competitive.
They probably even sparred each other in the past.
Definitely.
It's two guys that might even know each other. It's just like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson's at 126, so of course that's wishful thinking. Not expecting to jump 2 weight classes, 3 weight classes to go up there to 135. But I can see him going up to 130 or 135, making that division more tighter. Coming up there with Chris Colbert at 130, and those guys coming in, those guys being superstars. It's about time that people are not trolling Gervonta Davis like he's not serious. A lot of people look at him like, okay, gain some weight, whatever, that's cool. But how I say it like this, just even if a pit bull gains weight, it's still a pit bull. He's not just a puncher.
Yeah.
There's a brain behind there. He's very intelligent. See, the thing about it, he knows what he's dealing with when he fought Leo Santa Cruz. When he fought Leo Santa Cruz, he knocked him out because he's taking punches from a smaller man. See, everybody saying, "Oh, Gervonta's getting touched, this.
But if it don't hurt, it don't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, and he's not taking a lot of power shots, and he's waiting for that gap. See, I like about Gervonta, he smells blood and he waits for that delay.
Yep.
He caught that delay in that gap
because
took that one shot.
He was getting Leo Santa Cruz is a warrior no matter what. So he was getting backed in the corner, and he knew he was gonna come out with guns blazing and make a careless mistake, and that's what he did. Slip right under.
Yep, got caught with that shot. With that, I believe it was
an uppercut.
It was a left uppercut.
Left uppercut. He threw it kind of from like a standard stance because he was in a southpaw stance and he stepped back. So his lead hand was his left hand.
It looked like a shovel.
And he threw it under his arm.
Yeah, it looked like a shovel.
It was like a shovel hook. Yeah.
It was really an uppercut. And when I say like him going to 140, and I feel like he'll probably dominate at 140. And I think that Shakur Stevenson will inch his way to 130, 135 and say, look, I'm here. I think he has the size to do it. He's got the youth to get away with it. So, I'm just excited about it, man. Like, we see, like I said, we don't really talk about MMA much, but even MMA has to take a back seat, even with Stylebender.
Adesanya
taking a loss, which was very predictable because I knew it was going to happen. But even that fight gets outshadowed by boxing. Because like, how many people will look at it if it's not? We're not talking about John Jones
That's true.
or anybody like that.
And John Jones was the freaking golden boy, can't do no wrong. How many things he got caught with? How many scandals? All that.
Now speaking about just going to just looking over that, how would you say John Jones would be as a boxer?
Ooh, I don't know. He uses a lot of tools, so like it's hard to just focus on his boxing because he uses a lot of elbows and he posts out a lot and he uses his fingers and his hands to get in your face and he posts up for the elbow. But so I don't know. And then he's tall, but he stands up tall too. So
I think he'll be mediocre. I think he'll be opponent.
yeah,
I don't think he has the head movement or. I think he's in the right sport.
I think if you were to put, let's say, maybe one of the Diaz brothers, like Nick and John Jones in a boxing match, I think Nick Diaz would take that.
Nick will boxing.
Definitely.
I think unless he gets sloppy.
True.
John Jones just lets off on him and just.
But then they'll have the bigger gloves. Nick could take a shot too.
Nick could take a shot, but the thing about it is that I mean, he's probably too. And Jones is too big, too heavy.
True.
But I think
Nick throws a million punches.
Yeah, like a light heavy.
They don't stay. They stay busy. Both of the Diaz brothers, they
like
stay
John
busy.
Jones at cruiserweight or something like that. I could say like a fight for Khabib or something like that. I think because the only reason why I was saying that, talking about him how we're doing boxing, is because we talked about Clarissa Shields training for MMA still.
Well, Amanda Serrano does MMA.
Now doing MMA now too. So
yeah, she does it all. She does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, all that.
Yeah, I would love to see them come into our sport from MMA. See how they do. You talk about the Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Fighting. What's the MMA fighter's name?
Ben Askren, right?
Ben Askren, right? So Ben Askren doesn't have the best record.
Oh, it's Jake Paul, right? Jake Paul. Yeah.
Jake Paul.
He didn't want to take the fight with me. That's why he went to Ben Askren. You know?
Oh no, he don't want.
He had to go out of boxing to go get an MMA fighter to come boxing.
To me, like, okay, this is what I say about Askren, right? I'm not knocking MMA or anything like that. I'm not knocking MMA. But I will say, Jake Paul fighting an MMA fighter is like fighting a basketball player. Took guy out element. If I take a shark out of a damn shark tank and put him in a lion's den, the lion's just gonna claw his head over there. The shark is not gonna know how a lion maneuvers. It's never been on land.
Exactly.
They both got sharp teeth and jaws, and the shark might bite hard. But what happens when that shark goes? What happens when that lion gets behind the shark? Nothing.
Exactly.
And vice versa. Put a lion in there and it can't see underwater.
Even boxing and Muay Thai, there's a lot of differences.
Muay Thai can't compare. Like even with the punches, I had one guy tell me about Muay Thai. Oh, we've got boxing in it too. I said, no, you have punches.
It's different because I did Muay Thai, I did boxing, I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I've done judo, right? Dabbled in it all. I did an MMA fight and broke my toe. I always go back to boxing. Yeah. There's a guy that I know that trains at my gym. He's the Muay Thai trainer there. He trained in Thailand and everything. He has pro fights. So one day I said, you know what? Let's be fair. We'll do 1 round sparring of boxing, 1 round sparring of Muay Thai.
So you did
So we did 1. Of course,
1 boxing, 1 Muay Thai.
And then we would just rotate. We did a few rounds like that, boxing, Muay Thai, boxing, Muay Thai, boxing. So the boxing rounds, I was throwing tighter shots. They kind of throw these looping shots. They stand more squared up. So I was, throwing the straights to the body, everything. So I was, getting the advantage in the boxing rounds. The Muay Thai rounds, he's over here controlling my head and sneaking these knees in and everything. So of course, you take a Muay Thai fighter and take him out of his element. He's at a disadvantage. You take a boxer, you take him out of his element. He's at a disadvantage.
And you doing both and being trained, well in both. A lot of people don't understand even with sparring those guys. A lot of the Muay Thai guys don't want to spar in boxing, even to get their hands better because they don't want to get, or kickboxing, they don't want to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is like guys, like I had to learn how to kickbox, sparring guys with Muay Thai and kickboxing. So I had to, there's some things in boxing that did work. Some things are almost universal, like sliding your feet back, putting your hands out, avoiding a kick. Taking advantage of when a guy got to be set to kick. I mean, we see it in Muay Thai where a guy sets the kick because, you got to set for power.
Yeah.
So when you set for power, the guy catches you with overhand right. as soon as you kick, he might even try. He might even take the kick halfway, and then he's catching you. He's catching you in a minute because one foot's off the ground.
Exactly.
You know. So you know, like I said, it comes down to Jake Paul fighting a guy that's an MMA fighter. It's a freak show. It's a freak show. It's just like if you took like the Diaz brothers and then you took the Golovkin and you made them fight the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, I get
the
it.
Diaz brothers are just going to take Golovkin down real fast.
Of course.
And you know, and they might, you know, like I said.
Well, James Toney and Ricardo Mayorga switched over to MMA for a little while. Well, James Toney had that one fight.
Well, he made more money than probably half the UFC.
And Ricardo Mayorga had about 4 fights.
How did Mayorga do?
He actually, I think he had like 1 win and like 3 losses. But you know, he did all right. He was throwing knees and everything in there, but he's just a psycho.
Well, Mayorga doesn't care. When you get a guy that doesn't respect you when it comes to you,
the guy used to smoke a cigarette after every win in the ring.
Yeah, I mean,
he smokes and drinks during training camp.
Another dude that follows me on Facebook, Francis Botha.
Oh, Francis Botha, yes.
He did kickboxing. He actually had success.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good against Tyson until he got caught with that.
I mean, he was beating Tyson.
That right hand, he got caught with that short right hand that almost ended his life.
Yeah, but you know, Francis Botha is a real tough guy, man, because he has success in kickboxing.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was coming straight out of boxing, so he had to adjust to another sport, whole nother type of thing. Like, it's just like a jiu-jitsu guy trying to adjust to boxing. Getting out of bad habits of rushing forward.
Vitaly Klitschko was a kickboxer.
Yeah, it was American style.
Yeah, look at him though. He was heavyweight champ.
Chris Algieri is a kickboxer. He fought my kickboxing coach, Peter Calder, in his last fight.
Chris Algieri did good, man. For he did good.
I mean, let's put it like this. Chris Algieri, coming from kickboxing into boxing, becoming a world champion, I have to give him credit because that's not a good that's not an easy transition because you got to train different. You know what I'm saying? It's like all that power coming forward. You got to train. You know, you can't just rely on just brute force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just gonna bum rush you and try to like sweep you and try to throw power and try to knock you. You know, now you got to think because now boxing is more elusive sport, and it's a elusive sport that can be dangerous because a guy can be baiting you and you don't know that you're being baited.
Exactly.
And then you just get clipped or you get caught with a throwaway punch. You know, that's what I love about it. There's so many boxing history, man, comes from like pugilism days, man. Like wrestling was in boxing, fencing was in boxing. A lot of people don't know that. There's a lot of wrestling roots in boxing. You know, how you control guys' arms and pin and overhook and I mean even
grappling, standing. Muay Thai does a lot of standing up grappling. That's really good.
Yeah, the clinch work.
Yeah, the clinch work. Well, look at Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran. Yeah. His inside fighting is all moving the hands, fishing, and sneaking the uppercuts in and the body shots.
I studied Duran, even for my build. I studied Duran because even when I saw pros, a lot of stuff Duran does work. Like grabbing the guy's elbow and pulling the elbow and pushing his elbow towards the center line. And I know he's gonna pull the arm back. He's gonna pull the arm back and he's gonna leave his midsection open.
Yep.
And he might leave his hand open from upstairs. You know, it's definitely a great science. I wish everybody could learn boxing. To me, boxing made everything better. I remember I sparred full contact with MMA guy, and I got 2 out of 5 takedowns.
Nice.
Because boxing makes your reflexes better.
True.
And also, too, makes you think different. So, okay, if he does this, I think this way. Okay, if I do an inner foot sweep and I make him pick up his foot, and I shoot a right hand over him, catch him when he puts his foot down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so many it's a lifestyle, man. It's a way of thinking. It's not just punching. A lot of people, like I hear people like Joe Rogan and guys like that, they talk about, boxing is just punches. I'm like, well, no, if you don't understand boxing, it's not just punches. But boxing has got so many mental aspects and so much clinching and things that make a guy tired and tired his back.
I love playing chess in there.
Yeah.
It's like there's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always set shots up. I do a little tap, 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 tap. Hand trap, throw the hook.
Yeah.
Or I'll do feints, like the Canelo feint, the right hook, throw the uppercut up. I'm always doing feints, breathing, stuff like that. I'll even use my voice to feint.
And you know, and that's funny that you say that about feinting too. Feinting is a lost art in boxing. You don't really see guys jab a lot anymore or use feints. And what I was saying earlier about me sparring with different martial artists and different styles, the rules are always the same. Make you do what you're uncomfortable doing. If I know you're a go forward type guy, I got something waiting for you.
Yep.
Now I'm going to keep you in the middle, and now I'm going to make you do what you don't want to do. I know you don't want to move. I know you only move to the left. I'm going to make you move to your left. And I'm going to speed up the process to make you move to your left. Then I'm going to pump the brakes and make you work. Then I'm going to make you keep going that way. You know, great science that everybody should learn, man. I think coaches should take some more pride in teaching the science, not just trying to get a money back. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I agree. You got a lot of these gyms too now that tote themselves as MMA schools and all that. They got no credentials and they're learning this watered down version of martial arts.
Yeah.
And then they charging people so much money for it. Like,
The first thing I learned when I first learned how to box from my coach was the grappling aspect of boxing. The old standing Greco, the old controlling the arms, push someone off guard, or if they slip too low, how to hurt their back. Head pulls, because I have a kind of a long reach, so I need to learn how to control a guy's head. That helped me. The head control and the wrestling aspect of boxing helped me with so many things. Like I'll be playing a grappling guy. There was a wrestler from Ukraine I had at work when I was teaching boxing class. He came in and he was very surprised that it wasn't as easy to take me off to try to get a takedown on me as he thought, because of a lot of things that I was taught. Like pugilism is pugilism, right?
Yeah.
Even Jack Johnson used to have to wrestle. I think some aspects of boxing was just taken out, like karate, even jiu-jitsu. Like, I do like BJJ, but when you take the striking aspect out of a martial art and you just focus on Randori, how prepared is a guy like that? If I figure out your game and I just don't play your game, now what? You're gonna actually learn how to strike.
You're gonna try to pull guard in the middle of the sidewalk.
Yeah, pull guard or do rubber guard.
Well, I mean, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I did gi, no gi, right? There's a lot of benefits to it. It's good.
It's great.
But like you do have to learn the other aspects. Like, believe me, there's a time and place for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If I'm getting jumped by like three guys on a hard pavement, I'm not trying to pull guard and get on my back and none of that. I'm gonna work my boxing footwork. I'm gonna get in and out, slip shots, bang bang, and get the hell out of there. That's the best way to do it.
I do love grappling. Like I didn't do BJJ, but I did some Japanese jiu-jitsu. Like honestly, and I didn't train for competition, so I'll just be a fish out of water in competition because it's like, okay, can't do that. Can't do that. Can't bite. Can't headbutt. Can't break the guard by picking someone up by the back of their head. Can't drop the elbow down to the midsection.
Yep.
Because that's not proper and that's not competition. And I respect those type of guys. Like I do feel that all fighting aspects, like how Hoist Gracie said, all from self-defense. You leave the self-defense just like boxing. I was seeing a guy sparring in Bed-Stuy the other day, and early this week on Monday, and he wasn't clinching. He was taking a lot of punches. He was taking a lot of body shots. He was trying to machismo his way through there. I think the aspect of self-defense is missing. Defense first and everything.
Yeah.
Just like how you said, I wouldn't pull guard in the sidewalk street.
Exactly.
Now, dudes are trying to stop me out with their Timbs, and I trap your ankle, and I take my heel and I fork it on top of you.
Or you pull somebody down, and then now they're kicking his boy too, so now they got to get around him. Yeah, but that might be different. But like, if I could get in and out and get the hell out of there,
like me and you will probably have the same type of ideas. Like, okay, you stopping me out, like I'm trapping that foot. I'm taking that foot. I'm pushing that knee.
Heel hook, whatever, snap it. You're gonna get ostrich kneed.
Yeah, I'm taking that. Look, I'm taking this foot. That knee's going this way, and the ankle's going that way, and I'm just gonna crank on it and break.
That's it. Yeah.
And so I think the teaching back in our sport, boxing, which is now our main sport, because it's the last sport that we've actually studied.
It's the longest reigning sport, man. Come on.
Yeah, the longest reigning, and probably one of the oldest, going back to
the
Stone Age, man. Before the first dude balled his fist up and realized he had knuckles. Dudes were boxing.
Was he at the 1800s? They had the first bare knuckle boxing fight recorded.
Yeah, definitely. Like bare knuckle boxing, that's actually back true, man. What's your opinion about that? That seems like a cross between MMA and boxing.
Well, they said the bare knuckle boxing is supposed to be scientifically better for the brain because with the boxing gloves on, you protect your hands, so you're landing repetitive blows on the head.
Yeah.
If you ever punch somebody in the face, you could break your hand on somebody's head.
Oh shit!
So you don't want to punch the face hard So when you're bare knuckle, you kind of pull back on the headshots, and you're not taking as much damage to the head, and they cut easier.
But you know what's funny about that though too. But also too, get more eye damage. There are more things going on. Remember, you're getting hit with the gauze now. You know, you're getting hit with the cast.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit tougher than me, but I do like the way.
Yeah, but I think they exposed the knuckle part and they just wrapped the wrist mostly up to here.
That's still painful. Though.
Yeah, man.
Because like in the cut, in the swelling, I think it's more dangerous for like your eyes and stuff like that. More room to get thumbs in your eyes. There's more holding and hitting. You can actually hold and hit. And
yeah, you can get some shots in.
Yeah, I like it, man. You know BKB, man. What was the American Gladiators? They had the guys in the circle, man. It definitely was a great. That was a great experiment. I call it, where guys would almost get knocked. They would have knocked off the circle. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. They had
Dave Rosado. I was thinking about BKB. Dave Rosado was in that too. He's having a fight coming up, I believe.
Didn't Paulie Malignaggi fought in bare knuckle boxing too?
Yeah, he fought the MMA guy.
But but see, that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to the sports, staying in the lane or whatever, right? You can't fight a bare knuckle boxing match like you would fight a regular boxing match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Paulie was just trying to like out jab him from far away in the body and all that. And
Paulie, one thing about Paulie is that Paulie had power gloves on. So now he's got this dude.
He got pillow hand Paulie right there.
Yeah. So you still have these guys like with bare knuckle boxing. It's more ideal for an MMA guy because he's used to dealing with small gloves.
Oh no, this guy, what's his name? Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
You saw he had a bare knuckle fight, and he's so used to throwing hard.
Yeah.
He broke his hand, and he couldn't fight. He broke his hand on the guy's head.
Yeah.
See, and the fight was done. He couldn't make a fist, nothing.
Well, that's what happens when you're in boxing and MMA. You think because thinking about MMA gloves is a little bit different. You can crack because they're padded. Boxing gloves are padded. So now when you take it off, and those guys see a lot of those guys that fight in the street like used to bare knuckle. They know how to they don't have backhand, they don't slap.
Like Kimbo Slice, man. Rest in peace.
Kimbo Slice probably one of the best. I would have loved to see him in bare knuckle boxing today, man. Like, definitely.
He would have dominated that.
Knockout. Every single fight. Knockout. Easy.
And he got good. He actually had good boxing skill. Yeah, he got good head movement.
He was undefeated in boxing.
Yeah, head movement. You know, his rolls, his defenses. He kept a high, tight guard. Yeah, that's why he was such a good street fighter.
The style was good for his sport.
Definitely.
I don't see a guy like Kimbo Slice back then dancing and moving and shuffling. He's not good for that.
Definitely.
I think yeah. But so coming up this summer, man, we cannot forget Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury.
Oh yes.
And now the contracts from right here, contracts are not official yet. The contracts aren't official, but when Anthony Joshua, the promos and how they're going to promote the fight is not official. So the promotion for it is not settled. What do you think that's the reason for that?
Who knows, man? You know, somebody always wants more money and somebody always wants their hand in their pocket, you know, whatever. But I think that's a good fight that needs to happen already, and they just need to finalize everything.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight going?
Fury by UD.
I agree.
I feel Anthony Joshua. See, my thing about it, Anthony Joshua doesn't have the footwork to deal with Tyson Fury. And I'm not saying that he won't get shots on Tyson Fury, but I don't see him knocking out Tyson Fury. I do feel that Anthony Joshua has a good jab, a good right hand, and a right uppercut, and maybe a little left hook. He's got a decent left hook.
Yeah.
Decent body puncher, but I don't really see what he can really do to make Tyson Fury give him a different look that he's not used to seeing. Tyson Fury's fought almost every single type of style. Anthony Joshua's never fought a boxer. And I like what Andy Ruiz, speaking about heavyweight once again, Andy Ruiz also predicted that I feel like Fury would outbox him. I do feel that way. Anthony Joshua is a little stiff.
Yeah.
He's a little robotic. I feel like he can, but he's a great worker. That's one good thing about him, and that's what makes him a great champion, is that he's a great worker.
And he's physically fit as...
He's physically fit, very strong. And I'd say where Anthony Joshua lacks in technical skill, he makes up with work ethic and being in shape and living a clean lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's the only fighter that still does Olympic drug testing consistently and is on to be tested randomly all through the year.
Yeah.
So that shows a lot of great integrity. Great person. A great role model. I just feel a guy like Tyson Fury or Wilder, I feel like would have his number. One with power, the other one with just agility and good footwork. I think Fury is smart enough to stay in the middle of the ring and out jab him. That fight will be a lot of clinching. Anthony Joshua is strong, probably way stronger than Fury. But I do feel that Joshua has, when I saw him fighting Ruiz second fight, him jabbing and moving, he can't move and jab at the same time. That's one thing I did pick up. And I feel that you have to do that with a Tyson Fury who has longer reach than you.
Yep.
You can't just corner him like a lot of guys that just come forward. Fury's not going to knock out Joshua, but it will be a close. It'll be a fair good deal. Tyson Fury. I feel like he won't fight anyone ever again after the second rematch, and he'll get paid and leave.
Yeah, I see. In the first Ruiz versus Joshua fight, Ruiz was the shorter man, was outboxing him and outbanging him on the inside.
Yeah.
So now you got a better boxer. Fury moves the best in the heavyweight.
Yeah, true.
He moves better than some middleweights.
Some light heavyweights too.
Yeah, exactly. So he moves very well. Doesn't have a lot of power, but he can, throw a lot of punches and sting you, and he throws a lot of pity pat shots, and he wins rounds, and he frustrates you.
Even with that lack of power, that's still 270 man.
Oh yeah. If he lands a shot, sits down. But see, a lot of times he doesn't sit down on shots. In that second Wilder fight, he was sitting down on the shots.
See, a lot of people, like I say like this, a lot of people, Melo, was crying about the glove gate situation, all that here, that be. Fury sat down.
Yeah, he was sitting down.
The first time I see him, he pushed his feet down, bent his knees, and he put that right hand. He turned that right hand perfectly, and he can. I mean, I'm not saying he can do it to Joshua. I see Joshua getting tired. I see Joshua fading away. I feel like Fury is athletic enough and agile enough to keep Joshua's work rate up. See, all those muscles still need a lot of oxygen. You get what I'm saying? And I don't feel like he can get butt so lean. He's already lean. I don't feel like he can lose that much muscle. He's just a big, strong guy. And it takes nothing. If he loses to Fury, it takes nothing from him. I think it's probably a great trilogy. And that will leave way for Wilder versus Joshua, who we really want to see.
Yeah.
I think Fury will just go into paradise and retire.
Yeah. I definitely see Fury taking that fight, though. Fury for the win.
Now, before we head off, Andy Ruiz versus the Mexican heavyweight.
Chris Arreola, right? Oh, that's gonna be good.
How do you see that fight going? They both look lean. They both look more lean.
They both warriors, right? Yeah. Chris Arreola likes to bang. Andy Ruiz likes to bang. They're both Mexican warriors, but I think Andy Ruiz is a little more technically sound.
I do agree.
His counters, his combinations. He's a measured pressure fighter.
Yeah.
So I think he will be the smarter fighter in the exchanges. He'll land the cleaner shots, and I think he'll get a unanimous decision.
I think a lot of body shots by Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
I think Andy Ruiz will set up his shots up top and keep going to his body. I do feel that, Chris Arreola, I think he's not saying he's past his prime, but I feel like Chris Arreola will
he's still coming to fight. He's still coming to fight. Yeah.
Andy Ruiz,
he's not gonna make it an easy fight.
I think it will be a very long wide would be by Andy Ruiz. I have him winning most of the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
He's gained his lifestyle, but he's looking more lean. He's looking more fit. He's taking training a lot more serious.
Yeah, they showed some photos of him getting
more
shape.
He's actually seen a lot of definition. Andy Ruiz was very strange to us because we have never seen him that way. Probably in the best shape of his life. They're talking about Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz after this. That'll
be a good fight. That'll be a good fight because that's a good segue into either the Fury rematch or the Joshua fight.
I do feel that he can also pull upset against Wilder. I think he has his number. I think he's got good head movement, good defense. I can see him countering, coming up with Wilder on the rope. I feel like he can stop him if it goes that way. A fight between Fury and Andy Ruiz will be the funniest press conference ever because Fury will try to get into his head. He will talk about how he looks. He will talk about how short he is, how he's I definitely would love to see that. But heading out, this week of AB Boxing News, would you like to say anything, Sal Formelo?
David Benavidez is going to win in big faction, and then we'll see who he calls out. Caleb Plant, Canelo, or Charlo. We're gonna see who he calls out after the fight night. We got some good fights coming on this weekend.
Most definitely, man. Thank you. Antonio will be back next week. I'm the nose hunter with Sal Formelo, and this is AB Boxing News Podcast. Everyone have a good night tonight.
Good night.
Good night. That's how you do it.
Yeah.